welcome back to my channel. My name is Angel. So if this is your first time tuning into my channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button so you can become a part of the gang. And make sure you turn on that notification bell so you won't miss any more of my uploads. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I get my flawless drugstore makeup application every time. All the things that I'm using in this video are from the drugstore, honey. So if you are ready to get that flawless makeup application every single time, every single day, honey, then let's jump right into it. So before we start off with the makeup application, I feel that cleansing and making sure you're starting on clear and clean skin is very important. So you want to make sure you've cleaned your skin prior to applying makeup, and you want to make sure your skin is prepped for makeup. So the next step I would have to say is to make sure you use a really good moisturizer. This is also a really important step. The moisturizer that I like to use during the daytime is the CeraVe Ultra Light Moisturizing Lotion. I like this one because it actually has sunscreen in it. It has SPF 30. And this one is the ultra light one, so it is perfect for anyone that has normal to oily skin. So just because you think you have more combination oily skin does not mean you do not need to use a moisturizer. Everyone needs to use a moisturizer, and there's a moisturizer out there from everyone. And honestly, you guys, sometimes you can really trick your skin into thinking that it's way more oilier than what it really is because you're not moisturizing your skin enough. So it's overproducing oils. Just a little tip. I actually had to learn that, and I found that I'm more combination rather than a oily girl. And also, just because you may be a woman of color or you have a little bit of melanin in you, honey, you still need to be using sunscreen because that is going to help with any hyperpigmentation you have and any uneven skin tone problems that you may have. The next step would have to be primer. Some people think that primer is important. Some people don't really use primer. I definitely think primer is a very important step. I feel like everyone has a skin problem or something that they would like to fix. Whether it's uneven skin tone, whether it's a texture problem and you want your skin to be a little bit more smooth, whether it's large pores and you want to minimize those pores, whether it's some redness in your skin. But there is a primer out there for everyone. So you just have to pretty much find your skin concern and the right primer for you. Right now, I have actually been using the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business Primer. This one is the pore minimizing one. If you guys have been watching my videos, you saw that I have been using this primer a lot. But I've heard good things about this line of primers in general. They have one for neutralizing your redness in your skin. They have one for smoothing uneven skin texture. They have one pore minimizing like the one that I have. They have one for mattifying. They have one if you want a more illuminating, dewy finish on your makeup application. So this is a really good affordable and drugstore primer. Honestly, you guys, some people use primer all over. Me personally, I pretty much only use the primer where I need it, which is pretty much underneath my eyes and on my forehead. I always give my primer a little minute to set in the skin and to do what it's supposed to do. I give it between 2 to maybe 5 minutes at the most. After I felt like the primer is doing what it's supposed to do and it's settled into the skin, I then move on to foundation. So for foundation, I am using the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundation. This has been the best drugstore foundation ever, like for me, like period, like ever. Like this has been so bomb. Like I literally have backups of this stuff, and I wear this foundation like every day to work, almost every day. I love this foundation because it is a very medium coverage foundation. I don't have to keep building it up to get the coverage that I want or the coverage that I need. I'm not a full coverage type of foundation type of girl, but I do want, you know, some coverage. You know what I'm saying? So I also like that it has SPF in it. So it is good just in case your moisturizer doesn't have it. But I believe you should be using a separate sunscreen or either a moisturizer with sunscreen on top of having foundation with sunscreen in it, especially if you are wearing this during the daytime. Another very important step is that you want to start off with clean makeup brushes. Don't use dirty makeup brushes and dirty products on your skin. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I clean my brushes every time I do a makeup application, but I do try to clean my brushes at least once a week. My problem area for me, you guys, is around my mouth area because I'm a little bit darker in that area. So I just focused majority of the makeup and the foundation around that area, and I pretty much just placed the remainder of the foundation that I had left on my brush on my forehead. I don't really apply a lot of foundation, clearly because I have bangs and really don't need it up there, but it's totally up to you. If your forehead is showing, I would definitely apply foundation up there, but since mine is mostly covered by my bangs, I really honestly don't even bother myself with it. And you also want to make sure you are blending this foundation. I necessarily don't blend all the way down here because that's just a little bit excessive. But I do kind of blend in this area right here just to kind of make sure everything is pretty much blended together. One more tip I forgot to show you guys, but I don't know if you noticed, but I use more so a patting motion when applying my foundation versus to like literally like smothering it in your face. Don't do that, girl, because it's just gonna be a smothery ass mess pretty much. For my concealer, I am using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This concealer is bomb, you guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's literally barely any in here. But I love this for my drugstore concealer. It is amazing. Now, I only apply it underneath my eyes, my nose, but you are free to conceal anywhere you want to conceal. Basically, when you're using concealer, you are wanting to bring light to the area. You're wanting that area to look a lot brighter. I typically just apply it underneath my eyes. I think everybody does that. Down the bridge of my nose, because I do like a more highlighted, chiseled nose. I would sometimes do it to my forehead, but clearly there's no need for me to do it to my forehead. And some people even do it to their chin. I just don't do it right there. These are the only two spots I would normally do it. Sometimes I do my cupid's bow, but majority of the time recently I have just been doing these three areas. Well, these two areas. And then for my sponge, this is not a beauty blender, honey, although I do love the beauty blender. I am using my Shop Miss 8 sponge. This is their Paw Paw sponge. It's the one that's $1.55, bomb.com. Like beauty blender where? Like who is the beauty blender? Beauty blender. Like this is bomb, y'all. Like for $1.55, it'll be the best $1.50 you ever spent. Get you some, honey. I just have to let you guys know this, but I am not using it damp. My blender is pretty much dry. I just do not care to use it damp anymore because I feel like it absorbs a lot of my product and it does not give me that flawless finish that I'm going for. So I enjoy using mine's dry. It's super soft, super squishy. Then to set that concealer, I am using my Maybelline Fit Me powder. This powder is so flawless underneath the eyes, you guys. I'm basically just tapping this powder into my skin. I am not baking. I no longer bake, so I'm just pushing this powder into the skin. I just place a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and I do kind of let that sit in my nose, on my nose. So like I said earlier, I do like a more chiseled and defined nose. So for contouring my nose, I'm using my Black Radiance powder. This is just their regular pressed powder in the shade Rich Mahogany. And then once I do that, I'll just take the bottom of the beauty blender and just kind of blend that powder into my nose and just go over the contour just so it won't be so harsh. And to set my entire face, I am using my Black Radiance Soft Focus powder. I love this powder so much, you guys. My favorite powder in general, favorite drugstore powder. It is just bomb. And I also blend the powder down to my neck as well. And I forgot, I normally take my foundation brush to blend out my unibrow. I got it covered. So now that my face is set, I'm going in with my bronzer, and I am using my Milani Earth Glow Pressed Powder. This powder is bomb for bronzer. Like, it's like the perfect shade, especially if you're looking for something that is super affordable from the drugstore. And basically bronzer is just going to add some definition and bring some color and warmness back to your face. As you guys can see, that's exactly what it does. I really don't care to really contour, so that's why I kind of call this contour slash bronzer. I've always used powder when it comes to comes to that step. I've never used liquid because I feel like I already have like a oilier skin type, and and it looks too hard, if I have to be quite honest. And I really just love how powder looks. It looks so much natural and so much more flawless on the skin. So that is what I go for. And then for blush, I'm going to be using this e.l.f. blush palette. And this one is in dark. I really love this blush. This is also one of my favorite blush palettes from the drugstore. So this is the blush that I'm going to be using right here, the peachy shade in the palette. That is just absolutely gorgeous. And if this is not your first video, you know that I love me some blush. Blush just does it for me. Like, it's just like the icing on the cake. And then for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. I love this highlighter, and this one's in the shade Molten Gold. I love it because it's not too much. I feel like if you want it to be too much, it can, because it is buildable. And if you want to pull back a little, you definitely can do that with this one. Lately I have just been loving a more natural kind of highlighter. I don't need to be glowing like I'm going to I don't even know where. Like, girl, like, you don't even have to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, and that's it. A little bit goes a long way. And maybe I'm coming down, like I'm coming off of the highlighter high trend. Like, I'm coming off my highness from the highlighter. Like, it's just overkill. Lately, I enjoy a more matte look, especially for my face, like my makeup application. So I normally just highlight the tip of my nose. I did used to do the bridge of my nose, but that became too much, and my my skin tone was too, not my skin tone, but my skin type was a little bit too oily for that. That's why I keep saying you just kind of have to figure out what works for you as far as where you want to apply your concealer. What type of primer do you want to use? Where do you want to apply your highlight? That pretty much just depends on your skin type, your skin needs, and what you actually want, like your personal preference. I actually think that I'm going to apply a little bit to my Cupid's bow. And of course, I love my mole, you guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my beauty mark back on, because sometimes it get lost in all the makeup. So if you have any moles or anything like that, a black eyeliner would do great justice for it, dark brown, whatever color you would like to use. So this lip turned out a lot darker than I anticipated it to be, but it is still beautiful nevertheless, although it does look like I smoke weed every day, honey. I don't miss a day. That's what my lips are looking like. I get that good shit too. That's what it's looking like. It's looking real weedish. Like, for real, for real. But anyways, you guys, this is pretty much the final look. Pretty much how I get that flawless makeup application all day, every day. What you guys see here on camera, and when you guys see me taking pictures or even filming, this is pretty much how I make sure my makeup application is flawless every single time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this informative video. If you did, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. And if you like the channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button so you can become a part of the gang. Remember to be blessed and follow your dreams, and I will see you guys in my next video.